What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, joined by Dilly Vanilli, and we are here for our NFL Week 17 preview. 1 week away from the wild card playoffs in 2016, or I guess 2017, because that's when the playoffs are going to happen. So big things happening this week in Week 17. A couple big matchups deciding, some playoff matchups in the wild card, playoff seeds. So there's actually a couple games that do matter. We're going to basically skim through the games that don't really matter, like let's say the Ravens and the Bengals, because that's the first game that we're going to discuss. But Dylan, first, let's tell the audience the records. I think I pretty much put myself out of the running last week by my crazy picks. I might go with crazy picks this week because it's Week 17, and who the heck knows who's going to win. So tell them the standings, and then we'll get to our picks.
Well, Mitch is going to have a pretty crazy week this week to upset y'all number one here. Week 16, I went 10-6, so the record's 159, 79, and 2. I'm trying to get to 170 this week. That's what my end goal is by the end of the regular season. And Mitch is 8-8 last week. Some good picks, but some bold picks that didn't pan out. So he's exactly 10 games behind, 149, 89, and 2. You're gonna have to pick bold, buddy. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but good luck. play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Let's see if you get it right.
All right, bro. Let's do it. We're gonna start off with the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. By the way, we're gonna go through all the playoff scenarios as well, just to let you know what's going down, who can make what seed, 5th seed, 6th seed, 3rd seed, bye, whatever it is. We're gonna let you know. We'll start off with the Ravens and Bengals. Not too much to say about this. These teams are both eliminated from the playoffs. I'm going to take the Bengals, I guess. They're at home. I know they have no A.J. Green, but maybe they want to finish a poor season well, and maybe their coach, Marvin Lewis, has maybe a fight left in him so he doesn't get fired. I don't think he will get fired, but this is a little bit of a storyline. So
I'm going to pick Ravens. I have absolutely no idea. I'm just going to go different. And, man, if you had just stopped Antonio Brown, you might have been in the playoffs, but no, sir. I'm just going to go Ravens. I have no idea.
Thank you, Antonio Brown, for winning me lots of money in the fantasy finals. Thank you very much.
That was good.
All right, the Carolina Panthers play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In another game that doesn't really matter, the Bucs can still squeak in the playoffs. Dylan, do you have the format or the scenario of how the Bucs would have to make it in?
I don't have it exactly with me. I'm going to try to see if it's on ESPN NFL, but from what I remember, first off, they're going to have to tie. The Giants and the Redskins are going to have to tie. 2 AFC teams, or 2 AFC games, one of the teams is going to have to win, and 4 more other games in the NFC are going to have to be decided in order for the Buccaneers to get in the playoffs. So highly doubtful they're going to get in the playoffs here. They kind of screwed themselves the last 2 games.
I'm going to say that the Buccaneers go off on a strong note. They win this game at home against a division rival. I think the Panthers are just looking to go away. They're looking to go to their offseason. They're looking ahead to the draft. I think the Panthers don't want anything to do with this game. The Bucs have a tiny bit to fight for, and they also have, just to finish the season out strong, Jameis Winston. I think, he's a good leader, and he's basically going to step up and tell his team, him and the coach, they're going to say, if we want to build off this strong year, one of our best seasons in a long time, and we're a team of the future, we're going to need to win this game against a division rival and then take that momentum into next season. So I'm going to take the Bucs here in this game at home.
As a head coach, I would want to see a season end at 9-7 rather than 8-8, because if you're 8-8, it shows mediocrity in you. Although there were some highs and lows, you were 8-5 and you go down to 8-8. Don't really want to do that. So I'm going to predict the Bucs win this game. Panthers, really, what are you playing for? Nothing really matters for them. And yeah, I'm just going to see that hopefully if Winston can have a good game here, nice little momentum into the offseason, get ready and prepared, and have a good next year. So I'm going to go with the Bucs here.
The Houston Texans take on the Tennessee Titans. This game also doesn't mean anything. The Texans, I think, are pretty much locked in at the 4th seed in the AFC. The Titans are already out. I'm going to take the Texans to extend their win streak and keep rolling into the playoffs. They're going to need to perform well in Week 17 against a pretty good team in the Titans. I think they're going to get some more reps for Tom Savage going into the playoffs. They want him to be ready. I think their defense is playing very strong. Their offense, I think that whole chemistry thing with Tom Savage is big, and I think that they'll play him for most of the game in this one. So I'm going to go with the Texans.
The Titans are favored by 3 points, which I have no clue, considering Marcus Mariota is out for the season and will be out for 4 to 5 months, which sucks. I felt so bad for them. I'm going to pick the Texans as well. They're going to get Tom Savage some reps, like you said, get him adjusted to the game because, let's be honest, first half of that Bengals game was absolute trash. Second half, he looked a lot better, which is good, and Tennessee's still a good team. I'm going to say the Texans win this game, get a little bit of momentum in the 4th seed as they'll play the 5th seed in the wild card round. So they're going to have to win this one.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, with their coaching, they're looking for a new coach. They're looking for a new quarterback. They're looking for a new everything. And the Indianapolis Colts, they have their quarterback. They have Andrew Luck, and I think Andrew Luck's going to have a good game here. He usually dominates the Jaguars. This one's at home, and I think the Colts finish the year strong and win it.
Yeah, Jaguars are trash. I don't care if they won last week against the Titans. They're still trash. They're trash. Colts.
The Patriots play the Miami Dolphins in a game that does mean something. The Patriots can win and lock the 1st seed up. The Dolphins can win and potentially get into the 5th seed. They're most likely in the 6th seed, but this is a game in Miami that the Patriots, I think, really want to win. Not only because they can settle that 1st seed up and clinch it in the AFC, but also they have lost 3 straight years to Miami in Miami. That might be shocking, but a couple of those games were in Week 17, I think, and one of them, I think, was in Week 1 in 2014. But this is a game that the Patriots want to win, and I think that they will win this. I think their defense plays very strong. This is the first game where Matt Moore won't really look as great as he has looked, and I think the Patriots will win this game pretty handily, sending a message going into the playoffs and solidifying themselves as the favorite in the AFC.
In our video a couple weeks ago stating who we thought was going to make the playoffs with like 4 games left, we said both said the Dolphins were going to win this game. But that's if the Patriots had it locked in at that point. They don't have it necessarily locked in. If they lose and Oakland wins, they will have the number 1 seed. So with that, they're going to have to pick this one up. I'm picking Patriots. They're ready to go make a stand and get that number 1 seed sewed up so they can make a statement going into the playoffs, which I think they've made quite a big statement already. But having that last win, getting the number 1 seed in the bye will help them out a lot. So I'm going Patriots.
Bill Belichick always likes to have the Patriots playing as good as they can going into the playoffs. So I think they'll definitely have at least play Brady for most of the game, and maybe depends on the score. Maybe Jimmy will get in there or whatever. We'll see. The Chicago Bears play the Minnesota Vikings in a game that, again, means nothing. I'm going to take the Vikings because they're at home. No idea what is going to happen in this game, and I don't really care.
Vikings looked absolutely god-awful last week. Thielen looked amazing. I like that. But Matt Barkley looked atrocious with 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I think I could have gotten an interception at one point. They actually looked like Jay Cutler. I don't know if they got them out there and just put Matt Barkley's name on it. I'm going to go Vikings. They looked the better of the 2 teams. And get Mike Zimmer some positivity. There was a controversial story about Xavier Rhodes and the defensive backs earlier this week, which is interesting. So collusion. But I'm still going to pick the Vikings here.
The Buffalo Bills take on the New York Jets. This game is in New York. This is a crapshoot. The Bills are starting E.J. Manuel at quarterback. Rex Ryan is gone. And actually, Dylan asked me why the heck they start an E.J. Manuel. It's because the GM really wanted to start E.J. Manuel, and get this, he thinks that he can be the next Ben Roethlisberger.
Fuck out of here.
Tyrod Taylor was really Rex Ryan's guy. So Tyrod Taylor could be on his way out next year. That's another quarterback that could be on his way out. I could see him maybe potentially, floating around somewhere.
There's a chance.
What's a team that could pick him up? I'm trying to think. Maybe the Broncos.
I'll give you an answer here in a second.
49ers? 49ers, maybe?
49ers, maybe, possibly. I think Chip Kelly could work well with them, considering Colin Kaepernick was supposed to be the guy he wanted and thought was going to be good, and Colin Kaepernick in 2012 was a active quarterback like Taylor. So maybe.
I'm going to take the Jets, the Jets, lose. And the biggest reason why I'm taking the Jets is because Todd Bowles is like under fire right now. And I think he really needs this win because he's lost a lot against the division. So I'm going to take the Jets. If Rex Ryan was still there, I'd take the Bills, but he's not. So I'm going to take the Jets. And I hate EJ Manuel. I think he's trash.
I got to pick the Jets. There's so much collusion over there in Buffalo. I have no idea what's going on with them. They're constantly I don't know who said it. It was one of the Monday Night Football guys or one of the primetime NFL guys. They said that it's a dumpster fire over there in Buffalo. There's no leadership. There's no real teamwork going around there. It's absolutely awful. I would not want to work there. They haven't made a playoffs in this millennium, so that's fantastic. I'm going to pick Jets. There's just no reason, no way that the Bills can win, especially EJ Manuel, garbage. Give Tyrod
Tony. Put him in. Dallas Cowboys playing the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to pick the Cowboys. Whether it's Tony, Dak, Mark, I don't care. I think they're going to play most of their starters for the game because they want to get that momentum going. And I think that they're going to try and save Tony as much as possible just to trade him. Or do something with him. But I'm going to pick the Cowboys. I think the Eagles, they are a team that's been fighting, and I respect that. But Cowboys are a team that I think want that momentum like the Patriots going into the playoffs. So I'm going to take the Cowboys.
I'm going to give you my projections on who's going to start. So Dak's going to start I'm going to go till halftime or third quarter, and then either Tony or I don't know if they even want to put Tony in there at this point. Maybe save him for the playoffs, I guess. But Tony or Mark. Ezekiel Elliott will start literally one quarter, and then McFadden will go in. The rest is just play the game and win it out. I mean, the Cowboys weren't favored going into the last game because it was meaningless for them, and they won by 3 touchdowns. I'm going to pick Cowboys here. Eagles really I agree they've been fighting, but I would think they would want to get a lower pick in the draft. I don't know. 6 and 10, you're like right in the middle of the pack. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys here.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys, the other thing is, too, if I was the coach, I would play Tony Romo. The only reason that is because I think you want him to get reps just in case the, crazy thing happens of maybe Dak getting injured. Because you want to have some like experience this season with Tony under center with the team at some point just to be ready for all situations as a coach. That's just my opinion, though.
I agree. That's exactly what I was telling my dad. I was like, if something were bad to happen, God willing, Romo comes in and has at least a little bit of snaps during the regular season this year. So, because he's had I think 3 snaps. I think he got through third down on the preseason game before he got in.
The Cleveland Browns, the one win. Woo-hoo! Cleveland Browns take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers because I think, again, another team that's rolling with a winning streak. I think they want to continue that, and they want to look hot going into the playoffs. They're a team that's a dark horse in the playoffs, and I think they want to continue that trend going in, and I think they'll win this game. It is against the Browns, and it's at home. I think they should win regardless if it's, Landry Jones or Big Ben. I don't think it really matters. They're playing the Browns.
Browns, congratulations, guys. You got the win. I don't know if that still doesn't make you the worst team of all time. We'd still have to confer on that. But that at least saves you from having the worst record in the season. Terry Bradshaw made some comments about Mike Tomlin, which I thought were very interesting, calling him a cheerleader guy. So that's an interesting statement. I think Mike Tomlin wants to prove that even in these meaningless games, he wants to go out there and fight. So I think they have to beat the Browns. No doubt about it. So I'm going Steelers.
The New Orleans Saints travel to Atlanta. Atlanta does have something to play for in this game. They can seal the second seed in the NFC. I think they will do so. I really like their offense. I think their defense is getting a lot of confidence going into the playoffs, and I think they're a team that you should watch out for in the playoffs because they can score 30 against basically anyone. So I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons over the Saints.
I think this just solidifies I've won the season with regular pick. No, I'm just kidding. It's probably true. But with the Falcons, I mean, they got to get the second seed because the Seahawks have looked very, very average the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go with the Falcons, a Saints team that got an impressive victory against the Bucs, but really don't need this, and the Falcons really want to sew up that second seed. So I'm going to go Falcons here.
The New York G-Men take on the Washington Redskins. This is a meaningful game. If the Redskins, if they win, they have a chance to get into playoffs because if the Lions lose or the Packers lose, I believe they're in if they win. So
yeah, if they win,
they're in no matter what. Correct? Basically.
I think so. I think they will get in if it's a Lions loss. I'm not 100% sure.
I think they'll get in if it's a Packers loss as well because the Packers would be 9-7, right?
Yeah, and then the Redskins would be 9-6-1. Yeah. So that would be.
Yeah. So as long as one team loses in the Packers-Lions game and doesn't tie, and the Redskins win, they'll get in.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm going to go with the Redskins. They have more to play for. They're at home in this game. It's a divisional game, close matchup between the Giants and Redskins as always. I think the Giants will probably try and give an effort in this game. At least for a bit. I don't think they'll go all out because they want to rest some players because they can't really change their seating or anything. But I just think the Redskins, Kirk Cousins is playing for his entire contract with the Redskins. I think this is a big deal to them, and I think that they'll win this game.
It's a huge deal for them because, the boy's almost thrown for a good amount of yards this season, and he's really trying to prove that GM, give me a contract, man. Redskins, Giants. I fucking hate the Giants with a passion. I can't stand them.
13 and NYG.
Hey, bro, you can't spell Giants without INT. I'm gonna go with the Redskins on this one. Kirk Cousins he's got a monkey on his shoulder. He's gonna have to get that off him to get this contract and get in the playoffs. Because last year they were a 6th seed and they were trying to do a little something last year against the Packers. So I'm gonna go with the Redskins on this one.
Yeah, that would be 2 straight seasons where they made it into the playoffs. They actually won their division last year, so I think they were the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but the Packers
seed, I think.
So
yeah.
He kind of went out differently. That's right, though.
Oakland Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. This game is a toss-up. Matt McGloin is playing for the Raiders. If they win and the Patriots lose, they get the 1st seed. If they win, they keep the 2nd seed. So I think that they're going to fight. They're going to try. The Broncos, I think, will also fight hard and try. This is a divisional game. They know how they got embarrassed against the Raiders last time. I think the Broncos win this game. I think it will be like 13-10.
It's going to be a fucking trash game.
Something like that. I think the Broncos will fight. I think they've been embarrassed these last couple weeks, especially last week, and they know how they lost against the Raiders last time. So that being said, I think Broncos need to win here as much as the Raiders do, honestly, even if they don't make the playoffs, which they won't. So I'm going to take the Broncos.
The Broncos were a dumpster fire the last 3 weeks, just absolutely garbage. To the fact that there was some kind of commotion the last week, we heard about it in Kansas City, to the fact where a 346-pound man threw a touchdown at the end of the game against them. That's not – man, Talib was on it. He's the worst player in the league in terms of attitude. I got to go Broncos.
He's like the best corner right now.
In terms of Cincinnati's whole defense could be credited as that. Can it?
Vontaze Burfict is probably still the worst.
Yep. Oh, okay, so we'll go with number 2. We agree on number 2. I got to go Broncos. I don't know what Matt McGloin's going to do. If he does something good.
I think the Raiders, I don't want to put down the Raiders because I actually feel like they can do so. I think they can win one playoff game. I think if they play the Texans.
If they play the Texans, they'll still win.
I think they can win that game. I don't know who I would pick, but I think they can win. I just think they have to change the style they play with.
It's going to be an interesting game to watch because they're going to have to do something interesting. Still, I'm going to pick Broncos because it's too much of an uncertainty for me, and the Raiders might fall to a 5th seed.
Yes, they might. Well, they will with our picks. The Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. There is no way in hell I'm picking the Rams. I'm picking David Johnson, the man that if he was on a playoff team would be the MVP.
Yep. Why the fuck would I pick the Rams? Like I wouldn't if I had.
My question is, David Johnson going to get 200 yards in this game?
Bro, like he might break the record. He might break the rushing record.
I think he has like 2,000. He has like close to 2,100 right now.
And I know that when somebody on the Cowboys is going to win the MVP, they're going to be like, "Fuck is David Johnson?" Yeah. I know.
Well, I'm just saying though, like Zeke's going to win it probably. I made a video on that, guys. Check it out. Thanks for the support on it, by the way. But I think Zeke is probably going to win it because he's on the best team in the NFC and he's the driving force on the team. So thus he's going to win the MVP. You can't give the MVP to a player that is not on a playoff team. It just doesn't work. But if David Johnson was on a playoff team, you could argue that he should be MVP. And
that's why you don't give the Heisman to somebody that has 4 losses on their team because they didn't win the fucking game. Yeah, although I do love David Johnson. We both love David Johnson. We said it at the beginning of the year, standout man, and we were right. So, yeah, I got to go Cardinals because the Rams are awful, and they better pick a goddamn good coach when it comes to the offseason. Hire Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson 2017.
Kansas City Chiefs versus San Diego Chargers. I'm picking the Chiefs because they have something to play for here. If they win and the Raiders lose, they get the 2nd seed. I believe that both those things will happen. Yep. So the Chiefs will end up getting a bye. The Chargers will give them a test as they always do, but the Chargers are just all of them are on IR. I think they're on the 6th running back.
Bro, I think Philip Rivers is the only person alive on that team.
I don't even know how he hasn't been hurt yet.
He's the one. God asked him, do you want to be healthy for the rest of your life, but have all your players down, or do you want to be out and they make the Super Bowl? I think that's what he was asked. I gotta pick Chiefs. I think almost every time I pick the Chargers, they lose. And why would I pick the Chargers against a Chiefs team that's rolling? If Tyreek Hill gets on his groove like he has been, man, that's a guy to look out for in the playoffs.
Chiefs are a team that you should be looking at the playoff race as well.
For me, there's 3 teams in the AFC and there's 4 teams in the NFC that got a pretty good chance. So,
yeah, I agree with that. Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going with the Hawks because the Hawks are playing, like my boy Kevel said, Washington University. So, Hawks are going to win because they need to. Not really, but if they win and the Falcons lose, they get the bye. So that is something. And plus, they've been playing terrible, so they want a better performance.
They don't deserve to get the 2nd seed. I'm sorry, Kevel. They looked abysmal in the first 3 quarters of that Cardinals game. They're lucky they came back.
The Seattle Seahawks have so many games where they look awful in the first 3 quarters. But most of the time, like in past years, they've won the games where they've been terrible.
But not this year.
Yeah,
I still think it's that offensive line is still trash.
Defense has taken a major hit without Earl Thomas as well.
Yes, very much. You got impressive victories like the Patriots, and fucking miserable games like the Packers. So this is a 49ers team that got its 2 wins against the Rams. Well done, boys.
Go Rams.
I think they should be 0-16 if it wasn't for the Rams' incompetence. Seahawks.
Wonder how Eric Dickerson feels about that.
No, Eric Dickerson, you're great. I want you to be head coach next year. You can't tell me this team didn't play like garbage this year.
It's gonna be Josh McD, bro.
I would be very happy. Colin Cowherd made a video about who he thinks should be the head coach. Harbaugh's not going to make it, so Josh McDaniels is probably that coach.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels or Kyle Shanahan is probably going to be the coach.
Yep.
Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. This is the game of the week, Diddley. This is to decide the NFC North crown. I am going with the hottest team. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. Although the Lions have been impressive at home this season, I think the Packers are on a roll. I think their defense is been a little bit better. They're forcing turnovers, and they have 3 linebackers that are playing pretty well. You know, Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, and Nick Perry with his 10 sacks are playing well. The Lions, though, they've been very banged up. Darius Slay didn't play against the Cowboys. Their defense is just in shambles right now. If those players play, I think this game will be competitive. But I just think Aaron Rodgers is playing way too good right now. He's arguably the MVP, but I'm going to go with the Packers.
I was thinking about this. I was like, do I want to go with the Lions? Because that's the team I would rather want to play. Or I would rather want to see in there. But it's going to be the Packers. The offense of the Packers has been steaming all the way through. The last couple of games, they've been on their roll. They destroyed the Vikings last week. The Lions, they looked terrible on defense. That's the reason I'm going to go with the Packers, mostly because their defense is terrible with injuries. Darius Slay is probably going to be out week 17, which sucks for them because Matamose was garbage. So with that in mind, I'm going to go with the Packers, going with the hot team. They're going to be the number 4 seed, and the Lions could still get a wild card spot if the Redskins don't win, but we predicted the Redskins.
So with our picks, we have the Patriots and the Chiefs getting the byes.
Yep.
We have the Raiders taking on the road, going to Houston to take on the Texans, and we have the Steelers playing the Dolphins in the first round. In NFC, we have Cowboys and Falcons, and we have for the byes, and then we have 3rd seed Seahawks, 6th seed Redskins, 4 seed is the Packers, 5 seed is, get this, the G-Men.
Gross. I can't stand either of them. It is going to be an interesting matchup. I will tell you that much.
And we'll have our playoff predictions.
Whoa, January 2nd for me.
Out after week 17. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoyed this week number 17 preview. It's Mitch and Dilly Vanilli. Let us know who's going to win, who's going to make the playoffs, who you're rooting for in the playoffs. Peace out.
Peace.